日本時間2月24日、米メディア、MLB ネットワークに、ドジャースに新加入したカイル・タッカー選手、そして、ムーキー・ベッツ選手、フレディ・フリーマン選手、山本由伸投手、デーブ・ロバーツ監督が出演し、インタビューに応じました。番組内の後半では、スポーツキャスターのグレッグ・アムシンガー氏と、元メジャーリーガーのジェイク・ピービー氏が、今年の大谷翔平選手の活躍の SNS 予想を発表し、熱いトークを繰り広げる場面がありました。ここからは、その様子を字幕付きでご紹介します。
Kyle Tucker joins us now. Kyle, great to see you, bud. Congratulations on the deal. Walk me through your free agent experience. Did it feel like, the way it felt to the rest of us, that you were inevitably going to be wearing Dodger blue?
Not necessarily. I mean, I kind of treated it like any other offseason. Not necessarily worrying about where I'm going to go play, just making sure that wherever I am, I'm going to be ready when the season comes. So I just kind of treated it like a normal offseason, kind of did a couple of family vacations, worked out, and just tried to train, and was just hoping that the rest of it kind of took care of itself. So that's kind of how I approached it and tried not to stress out too much about it.
I want to ask you just about switching teams. This is your third team now. What did you learn going from a really good Houston team over to Chicago? What did you learn that you're going to bring to this team, or just changing teams?
I mean, I've played with a lot of really good players throughout my career, and very fortunate to be a part of really good teams at the same time. So I mean, this team's no different from the rest. I mean, there's some phenomenal people and players on this squad, and just like I've had in the past, and it's my third team now in the last 3 years. So it was a little weird at first, but you kind of get used to it. It's kind of part of the game, and then the more you play in like spring training, once the season starts and everything, it kind of just feels like every other day, and get used to it.
What specifically did you learn as a young player with those Astros teams that really set the foundation for your level of success?
More so like the every day-to-day stuff that you need to take care of things to make sure you're prepared to play every single day. I mean, it's a long season. It's 162 games, and in the back of your mind, you know you're going to be in the playoffs, and you got to be prepared for that as well.
Yeah, we forget things, Jake, because that 2019 team, Verlander, Greinke, Cole, that's your rotation, right? Presley's like an all-star closer.
Yep.
Then Jordan is the Rookie of the Year. Bregman over 40 homers, over 100 RBIs. Second AL MVP. Altuve's an all-star. Springer, 39 tanks.
Yeah, not a bad team.
Playing alongside those guys certainly had to play a little bit into the decision-making. We know the money is what it is, but there were certainly other teams. What was the deciding factor that made you end up here in LA?
This is just an organization that I thought was first class from the top down. Really good players and really great fan base, and everyone from the front office to the coaching staff to the guys that we see in the locker room every day is committed to winning. So kind of just taking all that into account, and this is just a place that I kind of want to be a part of.
It's a really good team. It's got one of the best right fielders in the world now in Kyle Tucker. Kyle, have a great 2026 season.
Thank
we appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, Kyle Tucker adding on to a team that is really strong defensively. And one of the bright spots last year, a lot of people didn't expect this, was that Mookie Betts would transition from the outfield in his 30s to shortstop. And look at the defensive run save leaders towards the top. It was an exceptional defensive performance from Mookie Betts. Jake, moments ago, caught up with the former MVP.
Mookie, I've seen you since your first day in the big leagues. I can't even believe when I think back to that day of what you've accomplished in the big league uniform. But for me, a right fielder going to shortstop, putting up these numbers, calling you the best in the league defensively at this position, I don't know that anybody who's ever played the game could go from right field to shortstop. Is that something that you're as proud of as anything you've accomplished?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it's kind of everybody's dream to play shortstop in the big leagues, and then finding my way to the big leagues was in the outfield. And so, I kind of turned off the infield brain and became an outfielder essentially, right? And then I saw an opportunity where I feel like I could help the boys, help the team, and decided to just take on a challenge. I mean, I didn't really know what to expect, but being vulnerable is a good quality that I have, and a good way of life, and it's been working so far.
What is a championship team made up of? You obviously have been a part of 3. You've seen it. You've also been put out of the playoffs, and you've seen when it didn't go well. When it does work and you punch through, what is that X factor? What is a championship team about to you?
But I think the main thing is just the love and the chemistry. I think that's really what kind of takes you through when it's game 4 and you get blown out, or game 5 and you get blown out, you got to come back. I think it's just the love that you have for one another. That's really what to me, is what the reason why we're so good.
What an answer. Love is the answer
Yeah,
to
thank
it
you,
all.
sir. Thank you, sir.
And we're going to talk one more thing about a guy you love. And we started talking defense when we got here. Miggy Rowe, I know, played a huge part in your shortstop development and played a huge part in this championship. What about Miggy Rowe being back?
Man, talking about love, man, I love that dude. I genuinely love that dude. I mean, when I first took on the challenge, I mean, he's literally been right next to me every step of the way. If I make an error, if he feels like he's made an error, or when I make a good play, he feels like he makes a good play. So he does highs and lows. I'm not by myself.
You need your whole roster to win a championship, but you also need superstars like this. Huge 26 is coming, Luke.
Welcome back to MLB Tonight. 30 clubs, 30 camps. We're talking about the two-time defending World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers, and they're not going to win the World Series in 2025 without the performance of our next guest, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who joins us now. Has it really sunken in yet what you were able to do in that one game, Game 7 of the World Series?
I watched it, the Game 7. The innings I pitched, I watched it a couple times, and then that brings me back that excitement and then a lot of mixed emotion.
How did Japan react to your performance?
Probably the biggest celebration reaction from my Japanese fans in my career.
Have teammates in the Dodgers rotation started to go, okay, give me the secret. Do I need to start working out like Yoshinobu Yamamoto? Are you sharing your training tips with your teammates?
Yes, but because everybody has their own style, so even so, I do share, exchange my own ideas and their own ideas.
Final question. Is a National League Cy Young Award a personal goal for you at some point in your career?
Yes, I'd like to get the title, but we do have a lot more other great pitchers in the same league, but I'd like to get the title.
World Series legend. You earned that name. World Series legend Yoshinobu Yamamoto, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And this World Series legend headlines this incredible rotation. Snell, Glasnow, Ohtani. Yamamoto has to be the opening day guy, right? Well, this is just one of the many strengths of the Dodgers. The other, they're veteran-laden position players. And we got Jake standing by with future Hall of Famer Freddie Freeman.
All right, Greg, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Yes, this is a Hall of Famer right here. Freddie Freeman, good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you, Jake.
Congratulations
Appreciate
on
it.
last year. How was the winter?
It was good.
Crazy?
Normal off season, so that was nice. First time in a couple of years where I didn't have to worry about injuries, so that was nice. But off season's crazy.
I've watched you for years now.
Yeah.
You look the same as when you were a rookie, buddy. Your A's and you're playing as good as you've ever played. What's been the secret to keep you going?
Yeah, I wish I had the secret sauce to let everybody know, but I don't know. When I came in the league, I was a little heavier and just didn't really know how to eat and work out. And as I've gotten older and just learning how my body works and how to get through a 162-game grind, I'm very stubborn to a routine. I care about the little things. I just try and keep myself in as good a shape as possible because I love this game. I want to play it as long as I possibly can, and so far so good. So hopefully we can keep it going for a few
You're
years.
100% healthy right now?
Right
ready
now,
to go?
100%, ready to roll.
I want to talk about big moments.
Okay.
You've been in plenty of them.
Yeah.
You've come through in some epic moments, as big moments as we have in baseball history. We all dream about being in that moment. To have success in it, what is the mindset? How do you help us out?
Yeah, I think it's more of everyone remembers the successful moments. 2022, I struck out to lose the playoff series, so that no one really remembers the failures, but you go through so many failures that ultimately lead to success. It's experience. That's why we have routines. You know it. Like you do the little things. You prepare. If you prepare, you can't be fearful if you're prepared for the game. And we do our routines, you stick to it, and then ultimately whatever happens in the games, this game's so unpredictable, it's so uncontrollable, you can just do everything you can, but the only thing you can really control is your work before the game. And so if you do that and you do the little things, then maybe the bigger moments don't be as big in your mind. So I think it's just more experience too.
Last thing for you, you've played with a ton of great players.
Yeah.
You are in a locker room here with just MVP after MVP. I'm looking for a message to youngsters here. What is a common thread that you've seen in greatness in the guys that you play around that our young guys and kids playing the game should be emulating?
And I think the biggest thing about our club is it's routine. It really is. I mean, we're doing an interview, 8:30 in the morning, and we've all already done our infield drills already out in the backfields. We're all getting ready. We all prepare. And I think when young guys come into our clubhouse and you see the superstar players being the first ones here, working, grinding, trying to get everything they can do to get ready for the season, I think it just kind of rubs off on everybody. And for me, it's,
you don't know when this game's going to be gone, you know, like, and I want to get, my biggest goal is when I lay my head out on the pillow, did I give everything I could this day? And thankfully I've been able to say yes pretty much every single day. So I'm not going to stop now, but I think the young kids now, you just look, you wake up, have fun, play the game with a lot of passion, and work hard. That's all you can really do.
Joining us now is Dave Roberts, the manager of the world champion Los Angeles Dodgers. When you look at a graphic like that of all the young players in the farm system for the Dodgers, and it's an impressive list, it's got to be a tough balancing act for you to acknowledge them and watch them, let them know they're part of the future when you're in such a very intense win now mode like you are.
Yeah, Greg, that's a great point. I think the one thing before I even answer that question is I think the lazy thing that when people talk about the Dodgers is payroll, and they don't give credit to scouting and player development. And I think if you look at our scouting, our farm system right now, we're top 1 or 2 or 3, right, in all of baseball. And that's kind of annually that we're there. But I think for me, it's just kind of going about things the right way. And like I've said many times over, the game will honor you. I don't know when, you don't know when, no one knows when that will happen. But if you're kind of steadfast in playing the game, doing things the right way, you'll get your opportunity.
Well, look at Miggy Rowe and the game honoring him in that moment.
Yeah.
Great point. Well, you having the wherewithal to put him in that game is where I want to take this.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, I took this seat for the first time with MLB Network, and you're on the other side of media and hearing what they're saying. I was hearing, can Doc motivate? Is he inspiring enough to win in the playoffs? This was after you had won in 2020. I think we've put a lot to bed the last few years. Is there anything?
I'd like to think so.
I know we have, sir. I just want to point that out, that there were a lot of doubters up until the last couple of years. Anything you want to say now?
You know what? There's stuff I want to say, but I'm not going to say publicly. No. You know what? I really think, and I'm going to take the political response to that question, which I love the question, Jake. I think that the thing that I'm proud of for myself, my coaches, the players, is not letting that noise get to us and change just because we didn't win a championship. We did remain steadfast in how we go about things, and winning back-to-back, guys, I'm telling you right now, I'm more excited about this year than I was last year or the year prior, because what we've accomplished, guys are still hungry, and that's scary for the rest of the league. And so for me, yeah, the naysayers are always going to be the naysayers, but I think that for us, what's important is playing good baseball and, you know, playing the right way, and I think we do a really good job of that.
Is Shohei Ohtani more fixated on winning a Cy Young this year than ever before that you've seen?
I don't know that answer. I do know he's fixated on winning another championship. I do know that with his talent on the mound, that he will be in the Cy Young conversation. And so with the talent, everything else falls out. But I'll tell you right now, Yoshinobu is going to be in that conversation. Shohei is going to be in that conversation. Tyler Glasnow will be in that conversation, and Blake Snell will be in that conversation. So as the Dodgers, we've got some pretty good arms.
Pretty good arms that you rode down the postseason stretch. Well, I think the turning moment in the postseason was you running the bases in fall. I'm asking you right now, was that on purpose or was that fake to take the... It was such a moment that lightened the load, and you know, in that run, you got to have some light moments and take people away. That certainly did. Fake or real? So
the run, the intent, the levity for the group, real. The crash landing face plant, not real. That will be the last time I ever do a 100% full sprint. But my first step was still good as I looked back at that. But then, yeah, the right hamstring I blew out. That was ugly. But
90 feet, you look like my old teammate.
Yeah, no. For about 3 feet, I look like your old teammate.
You could have played this. He was asking for coaching tips. You could have said, yeah, Jake,
Jake,
motivate the guys to win the title, you face plant while you're running the bases. You need to do that. Hey, you know what? You just said something I want to mention. You've got Mark Pryor, Bob Guerin, Josh Bard, our catcher, incredible Woodward on this staff. Coaches, you don't do what you've done without that coaching staff.
No doubt, no doubt. And the thing is, though, is that our coaches never forget what it's like to play. And it still comes down to work. And I think that, you know, you asked Greg earlier, you know, what the kind of the secret sauce is like the little things got to matter. And, you know, whether Miggy Rowe's fielding the ball the right way and makes an accurate throw with the bases loaded. You know, Andy Pages coming in off the bench in that particular moment, getting a jump on the baseball, going to left field. You know, those are things that matter, and running the base as well, finishing plays. And so, yeah, to your point, Jake, is like we got coaches, people in the building that care about our players, and we're going to try to make them better. You know, we're at the top of the mountain right now, but now we got another mountain to climb, and that's the fun part of sport.
We look forward to this interview every year, man. Dave,
Thanks, Greg.
best of luck for the three-peat, okay?
Appreciate you guys. Thank
All
you
right,
so
brother.
much.
Good
Thanks,
to see
Jakey.
Before we say goodbye, let's get the results of our social question. We asked you, what will Shohei do this year he's never accomplished before in his career? Over 44% of you say he's going to win a World Series MVP. 25% say he's going to hit 60 bombs. Only 19% of you say he's going to win a Cy Young, which goes to show you how many geniuses there actually are in humanity. I believe with the 19%, he's going to win the Cy Young. I think he's hell-bent on doing that. That's my bold prediction, Jake. You don't mind if I go first here. I think the Dodgers are going to be the greatest regular season team we've ever seen. They're going to win 118 games. The old record was 116, the 06 Cubs, the 01 Mariners. They're going to win 118 games. And I think Shohei Ohtani is MVP and the Cy Young. He will have a full mantle of hardware. He's going to get it done. Now, you notice I didn't say they're going to win the World Series. They're not my World Series pick. That's for a later show. But it's going to be a great year for Dodger baseball.
I think Shohei is right in lock and step with you in wanting to win that Cy Young. I just don't know if his workload is going to be that where he can eclipse a Paul Skeens or somebody who might have a little bit pitcher-only workload. I do think he gets 60 homers. That's something that's a benchmark. Aaron Judge, some other greats have done it. I think it's on his mind. World Series MVP, I absolutely believe he does.
But that's not super bold to me, right? Like
No,
60 homers, World Series MVP.
Well, it's not super bold. That's not my bold prediction for the Dodgers.
What is your bold
That's just my Ohtani prediction.
Okay.
My bold prediction for the Dodgers. There's no way you can't keep a good man down. Mookie Betts bounces back in a huge way. And I don't know that he can win the MVP because of that Ohtani guy. He finishes top 2, top 3. Mookie Betts and these Dodgers roll on.
What do you think? Are they going to win the World Series, 3P?
I just can't imagine what the physical toll that these guys have went through the last couple years. I know they're going to manage it throughout the regular season and get there again and be as poised and ready as anybody. I think somebody, just as the Blue Jays almost did, finds a way to clip them.
いかがでしたでしょうか。このチャンネルでは日本人メジャーリーガーなどを中心に野球情報をお届けしています。この動画が良かったら高評価、チャンネル登録をよろしくお願いいたします。今回も最後までご覧いただきありがとうございました。それではまた次の動画でお会いしましょう。